Oh, right. How long was the Chris Wilson video?
A few years.
Okay, no. This one we are watching. Okay, for anyone who doesn't know who Chris Wilson is like the PoE guy. He is like the Jonathan Rogers, other people involved in the project. When people think of PoE, this is like one of the guys. And apparently this video is really good as well. He is bold, which is very important. Anyways, we'll go bye. Catch you later. Catch you later. Yeah, I really wanted to check this one out. Apparently it's a really good video. And it's ranting about how mobile games are evil. And I like that.
A few years ago, a friend of mine carried a laptop 6 kilometers through
Also, he's a New Zealander. So enjoy. If you like me mispronouncing words, enjoy the New Zealander mispronouncing words.
bush just to log into a game and keep a daily login streak alive. That's not fun. That's not entertainment. That's a dark pattern.
That's what I was doing with Duolingo for a long time. I kind of got, like, I was using Duolingo, and then I just got lazy with it and stopped doing it, but I kept my streak going. For no reason. Just because I knew the number go up. And then I realized what I was doing. I was like, why am I wasting my time if I'm not even using the app?
Hi, I'm Chris Wilson. In this video, I want to show you how some modern games manipulate your schedule, your wallet, and even your friendships. You may have heard the term dark pattern before. It refers to a design...
Well, one other game that does is fucking Path of Exile with the fucking Settlers of Calgur bullshit. Actually, I wonder, is there a comment? Settle... Path... Let's see. There's surely gotta be one. There it is. Thanks, Chris. I remember to check my Calgur ships because of your video. Yeah, this is why he left. Yeah. Can't help but think that Chris tried to subtly point at what PoE has become with the introduction of Calgur and gold in general. Yeah. I love PoE. And I fucking hate the introduction of Settlers of Calgur. It is one of the worst changes they've ever made.
That deliberately manipulates user behavior, usually to get those users to spend money or engage more than they intended. A classic example is a hotel site flashing scarcity cues like, only one room left, 4 people are booking right now.
800% value.
You also see services that are easy to sign up for but hard to cancel. Confirm shaming buttons that say, I'd rather pay full price. Optional extras like shipping insurance being
Netflix is great for that one.
Shaming buttons that say, I'd rather pay full price. Optional extras like shipping insurance being automatically added to your shopping cart, or pop-ups that say, don't leave yet, you have unpurchased items. Dark patterns like these are increasingly common, to the point where regulators and consumer groups are starting to push back.
Finally...
Today I want to talk about a less discussed form of dark patterns, and that's their use in the games that we play and make. Given how much money...
And make? What a very specific... very specific way to phrase that, Mr. Chris Wilson. Yeah. Is part of the reason you left Path of Exile because of the direction it was going.
Is made by the games industry, it's no surprise that some developers are applying psychological principles to the reward systems of their games to manipulate players into engaging more. In this video, I'm not talking about gameplay systems that are intentionally addictive or immersive. That's part of the entertainment you signed up for. I'm talking about the meta systems, monetization tricks, retention loops, psychological hooks, and UI traps that manipulate you outside of the actual gameplay. Another way to look at this is, if a developer focuses on making a game as compelling as it possibly can be, and it ends up really fun, interesting, and makes players want to play it again and again, then that developer won't need to rely on manipulative psychological tricks to artificially...
Yeah, you want a good example of that? Fucking... Where is it? Where's the game? Do I have it in my thing? I don't. Ball Pit. I haven't played a ton yet, but like I was planning to do like one round of this. I played for like almost 2 hours. Ball Pit is so fucking good. Ball Pit is so good, man.
actually improve their metrics. Okay, enough preamble. Let's get into some dark patterns. So, like with non-game products, user interface dark patterns are common. For example, some mobile games ask you to rate them out of 5 stars. If you pick 5, you're sent straight to the App Store to leave a review. Anything less sends you to a developer feedback form instead. This quietly biases actual reviews towards higher ratings by making lower scoring reviews harder to leave. Another example of a user interface dark pattern is a game that allows you to spend real money to level up gems that can be socketed into your gear.
What a very he's not talking about PoE here, but that we know what. Do you know what game he's talking about here?
User interface dark pattern is a game that allows you to spend real money to level up gems that can be socketed into your gear. But players might.
What a hyper-specific example. That's Diablo Immortal. That's obviously Diablo Immortal he's talking about.
Find that once they have completely maxed out a gem at great expense, more sockets appear, requiring them to spend more money than they initially intended to completely max out their character.
Yes, he's talking about Diablo Immortal. He's not saying it, but he's talking about Diablo Immortal.
This moving of the goalposts could potentially manipulate players into thinking they were going to complete their character for one price when it actually costs a lot more. They may not have committed to spending as much if they knew that from the start. Dark patterns in games extend far beyond just deceptive user interfaces, though. They're typically categorized as temporal, social, psychological, and monetary dark patterns. I've put some links to some of my references that have comprehensive lists in the video description, but I'll go through a few of the major ones with you right now. Before we get started, I should note that pretty much any mechanism that tries to manipulate a change in user behavior is considered a dark pattern in games, but the severity varies a lot. Some of them are much more mild than others, and a lot of different opinions about which of them are harmless and which are going too far.
Sure.
I'll weigh in with my personal feelings about this later in the video. Many live service games have daily login rewards. In behavioral psychology,
Daily login rewards, okay, Marvel Rivals actually does this pretty well, if I remember correctly. Where it actually, rolls over the login rewards into the following day. You have, daily quests, and it will, roll it into the next day. So it's not, yes, it is forcing you to, keep the grind up, but it's not, at the same pace.
when an action is followed by a reward, your brain learns to repeat it. Every day that you log in and receive this reward, you'll get a hit of dopamine, building a habit over time. Players who are
But yeah, every mobile game does this. Fate Go does this. Fucking School Idol Project used to do this back before the game got shut down. I'm sure Genshin does it. I'm sure everything else does it. This is a common thing in games that aren't mobile games as well. MMOs do this very frequently. Yeah.
In addition to logging in every day,
I'm sure
do it
FIFA
not
does
because
it.
they're excited to play, but because it feels like brushing their teeth, just something they have to do.
Yeah. Got to keep up your
Some
streak.
games have login streaks.
Yeah, there
this
you
is
go.
where the rewards escalate for each sequential day you log in. When you break the streak, your rewards reset back down to the minimum level. Now, humans have a strong sense of loss aversion, where losses feel roughly twice as bad as gains feel good, and hence players will go significantly out of their way to avoid breaking these streaks.
Again,
As I
this
mentioned-
is what I was doing with fucking Duolingo, where I wanted that streak to continue for no fucking reason. It's like, oh well, what if I do start using Duolingo more actively? Then I lose my if I don't go and log in, I need to I lose my streak. And I would find time every day to just log in, even though I wasn't fucking using the app.
Before, I have a friend who was on an off-the-grid camping trip and had to walk 6 kilometers with his laptop and a 3G modem so he could keep a login streak
wasn't that
going in
bad.
some random game he was playing. There are even games out there that let you pay real money to restore a broken streak.
Duolingo does this with freezers. You can freeze your streak.
In addition to daily login bonuses, many games have daily tasks or challenges which reset every 24 hours.
Yeah, daily
Players
quests.
feel obliged to complete these so that the easy rewards don't go to waste. They don't want to miss out on cheap progress that everyone else is getting. Some games rely on dark patterns rooted in social obligation to manipulate you into behaving differently. For example, it's common for mobile base builder games to have guilds or clans where daily participation, like doing quests or donating resources, is important for your guild to succeed.
In games like Clash of Clans, they have guilds where they have guilds where if you don't spend a certain amount of money, you're not allowed to be in the guild. right? They have whale guilds. And this is a common thing, and like Diablo Immortal has the same thing as well, where, oh, you're only spending $100 a month. No, you can't be in our guild. You need to spend a minimum $1,000 a month, $5,000 a month. Otherwise, you're poor. Get out of our guild.
If you don't log in each day and perform these actions, you let your friends down, which causes guilt and social pressure for you to be active daily. This dark pattern can exploit and strain our friendships, especially when the game is tuned to make daily participation essentially mandatory. Other games feature gifting between players, where reciprocation of gifts is rewarded with extra bonuses. This taps into reciprocity pressure to cause you to feel the need to log in daily and return gifts to people. Some
Games like Farmville did this so much. Constantly.
games have refer a friend bonuses, or even outright pyramid schemes, where you make faster progress if you have recruited an extensive network of friends to join the game and play with you. Time-gated tasks, or playing by appointment, are when a game tells you have to come back at a specific time or face consequences.
Yep.
Popularized by farming games where your crops would wither and die if not harvested at the right time,
Yep.
the game forces control of your schedule.
Actually, to be fair, no, I would say it was actually popularized much earlier than that. And he probably knows this, but he wanted to talk about it in the context of video games. Tamagotchi. Tamagotchi was exactly this, where you would need to feed the stupid fucking Tamagotchi bullshit every X amount of whatever it is, hours, minutes, whatever the number was, or it would just die. This has been a thing since the 90s. It's just, it wasn't common in video games until, you know, Facebook social games, like Farmville, things like that.
Sometimes making you wake up in the middle of the night to click buttons or lose your investment. Contemporary mobile games often have timers and energy mechanics, where your ability to progress the game is blocked until you come back when these resources have regenerated. While
Unless you pay for them.
this is less harsh than your crops being completely lost, you'll feel pressure to come back at exactly the right time to maximize your rate of progress.
School Idol Project did this, and I hated it so much.
When you're not the one deciding when you play the game, but instead having the game decide for you, it's worth questioning your entire relationship with that game. Some live service games create artificial scarcity for their store items. As entirely digital...
Wait, I check YouTube and immediately see Subin jumped on the free run. Every artist has been doing the face meme. Oh! Oh, that was handled pretty well. I like that. That's a really cute art style.
Purchases, there's no physical requirement to limit the number of people who can purchase something, but doing so often causes it to sell much faster due to players fearing they're going to miss out. This pattern is similar to the one employed in gacha games, where they often have certain characters available for purchase only occasionally, causing a frenzy of activity when they are. Not only does this cause more sales, but it conditions players to check in with the game daily to see if the character they want is available for sale. There are a variety of dark patterns related to premium currency in games. Developers can
Let me guess. What is Chris going to say here? He's going to say you have 3 different currencies. He's going to talk about currency packs that don't align with the things you're buying. On that note, let me show you Path of Exile. Here, let me show you Path of Exile. Shop. Buy points. So they have pretty, like, they actually have nice sizes. 50, 100, 200. But let's go MTX. Let's go new. These ones are clean. These are clean bundles. Then you have ones like this. 510, 380, 440, 420. Like, even Path of Exile. I love Path of Exile, but even 40, you know, 75, even Path of Exile does this to some extent as well.
Find their premium currency packs to be slightly too small to buy the most desirable items, requiring players to purchase more premium currency at once than they plan to.
Check games eventually.
Developers can pick arbitrary exchange rates for their premium currency, so that players can't really understand the true cost of the item they're buying. Cheap items can be placed next to expensive items in the store to make them look like better value. Some games employ
Anchoring.
special in-game or monetization events that are time-limited or seasonal. The content and rewards are only available for a limited time window. Players do not want to miss out on a unique reward that may never be available again, so this limited availability
PoE supporter packs.
causes fear of missing out, which leads to intense and anxious play during the event window. There's also a phenomenon called the endowed progress effect, which shows that if players are given a head start on a reward track, then they are far more likely to finish the rest of that track so that they don't waste the progress they have so far, even though they didn't even make that progress themselves. It's a bit like the sunk cost fallacy. This is why some Battle Pass schemes start with the first items already completed, or have some really easy ones that are inadvertently completed while playing. This manipulates players into committing to complete a reward track that they may not have chosen to attempt without the free bump of progress at the start. So we've gone through a bunch of
So it's like, it
different
feels like a waste of time if you start from nothing, but if you start from something, it kind of pushes you forward. That idea is not always inherently bad. Right, like if you think of programming, for example, it's really difficult to start a programming project from a blank file. But if you start a project from like a template file or an old project you had that you want to refactor into something else, like that idea is not always inherently bad. It's just, it can be manipulated to be used for negative things.
patterns, and some of them seem pretty user hostile. You may be wondering, why would developers pollute their live service games with all this crap? Well, there are several answers to that question. And the first is that it works. These techniques are all highly effective. They produce the desired outcomes. They manipulate well-understood psychological principles that our human brains are vulnerable to. The second reason is that players generally tolerate many of these design patterns pretty well. Have a look at the games you play and see what techniques they're using from this video. Ask yourself if these are a big enough deal that you'll quit playing the game entirely over them. Chances are you're still playing the game despite the presence of these manipulative elements.
It really feels like he's subtly hinting at PoE. I see what commenters are saying here.
Another important reason is mindshare. There are a lot of live service games out there, and players have a limited amount of free time. If a game doesn't have all of the addictive hooks and manipulative retention mechanisms we discussed, then its players may find themselves compulsively logging into other games to complete daily tasks and forget to play this one. There are also foreign publishers. When a game releases and is popular in its home regions, publishers from other countries approach the studio and offer to localize and market the game in their region. But in order to take the risk of investing in license fees and marketing costs, the publisher is going to want to make sure the game is as sticky and lucrative as possible.
Right.
The publisher dares not suggest changes to the actual game itself, as the game is already proven to be good. So the only way they have to juice the retention and monetization is through meta systems, which very easily stray into dark pattern territory. Finally, the entire games as a service industry measures the value of a game as a function of its daily active user count and its retention rates. If you're making a live service game, you're only going to be able to get funding if you have a solid plan to retain your users. That plan probably ends up involving some number of these dark patterns, because you have to compete against other games using these techniques. If you have a publisher or investor involved, they're probably going to want to see industry benchmarked retention and return from your game, and that is benchmarked against other games that are packed full of dark patterns. If you refuse to use dark patterns in your games, you're effectively competing with games that do use them, while operating at a disadvantage on the metrics that investors care about. This situation really sucks. While by definition, a dark pattern is a design that benefits the developer at the player's expense, some of the techniques mentioned in this video aren't entirely evil, and if clearly communicated and balanced fairly, wouldn't qualify as actual dark patterns. For example, it's pretty clear that escalating login streaks are quite manipulative, because players really want to avoid breaking their streak. But flat daily login rewards might be more acceptable to players, because the penalty for not logging in is just missing one day of rewards. If those rewards are sufficiently generous and the game is not manipulative elsewhere, players might be happy with that system. There are certainly players who really look forward.
Well, in a similar way, Final Fantasy XIV had, like, it has a login, it has a subscribe streak. It's like, if you've been subscribed for X number of days, there's like 4 gear sets you get from it. Like 4, like, just like cosmetic gear sets, but it's only those 4. So once you've got them, there's nothing else after that.
To daily bonuses or special events in their favorite games and enjoy the structure and rewards that those bring, despite the drawbacks we've talked about. Some developers argue that a little psychological nudge can enhance enjoyment of the game, for example, by encouraging players via rewards to explore parts of the game they wouldn't otherwise try out.
Sure.
Achievement systems are a common example of this. I previously talked about how time-limited events can be manipulative because they often offer exclusive rewards that require a lot of work to unlock during a narrow time period and can take advantage of your fear of missing out. This is a problem when the event involves grinding out existing content, but honestly, isn't that bad when the event consists of interesting new content?
One thing I will say with Battle Passes is Marvel Rivals actually, look, a couple other games are doing this as well, where they let you buy the Battle Pass, but when you buy it, it doesn't expire. So you can buy, like, it expires if you're on the free version, but if you've purchased it and you didn't finish it through whatever pass, you can go back and do it whenever you want. Like, it's not going to stop you, which I think is something that should be required by law. If you sell something to the customer, you shouldn't be able to just take it away after 3 months.
For example, back in January of 2017, Blizzard celebrated the 20-year anniversary of Diablo 1's release by introducing a special event into Diablo 3. The Darkening of Tristram was an homage to Diablo 1 within the Diablo 3 engine, complete with a pixelization shader and a strict orthographic isometric projection like Diablo 1. Players got to play through this mini version of Diablo 1 with their Diablo 3 characters, and it was honestly pretty cool. Even cynical old me reinstalled Diablo 3 and had a fun time checking it out. It looks like they're still running this anniversary dungeon event annually since then. This was a very well-executed example of a time-limited in-game event that was a net win for everyone. I have nothing to complain about there.
Yeah, a lot of games do, like, Christmas events and Halloween events. Yeah, fair.
On the other hand, time-limited events that don't introduce new content can be more dangerous. A number of years ago, a fellow game director told me a story about a live service game he was running. He wanted to increase player activity in the gaps between expansions, so he decided to try running a double experience weekend. It was a huge success and saw way more players playing than usual. After
Call of Duty fucking loves these. Constantly they're doing fucking double XP weekends.
However, player numbers dipped down below where they were before the weekend. So they ran another double experience weekend the following weekend. You can predict...
Yeah, and if you're not playing on the double XP weekend, you're just wasting your time.
...where the story went. After a while, people only played on those special weekends because playing on weekdays felt far less worthwhile in comparison. The game eventually shut down. While games that overuse dark patterns alienate their users and eventually see the opposite of the good retention they were aiming for, the primary victims of dark patterns are the players themselves. Players affected by dark patterns find themselves compelled into behavior they wouldn't normally perform, whether that's making purchases they hadn't planned for, logging in on days they hadn't intended to play on, grinding content they wouldn't normally choose to grind, referring friends who might not have an interest in the game, or having to set an alarm at 4 a.m. to tend some crops. These actions have both...
This is not caused by a dark pattern. This is caused by RuneScape players being fucking psychos. People do this with RuneScape. RuneScape players feel like if they're not getting optimal XP, like they force the dark pattern. Like the game doesn't have, it's not forcing you to play it. The game, like everything continues in the game around you, but people in this fucking game feel like if they're not getting optimal experience, they're not playing the game. People will fucking like, at work, they will have RuneScape on their phone and click the thing every 5-10 minutes, whatever it is, to make sure they stay logged in. Also, seen a daily login system where at the end of the month, it gives you XP boosting access to the last 30 days. Aha!
An impact on their day-to-day life, but also reduce their enjoyment of the actual game itself. They often lead to feelings of anxiety, fear of missing out, commitment pressure, guilt, and frustration. The scary thing is, I'm an adult in my 40s who has spent his career working in live service games.
My DM is that he's level 99 in everything. Yeah, I'm literally telling you from my housemate. My housemate does this. I will watch him, and he is like, I'm not fucking joking. He'll be playing, I don't know, Cyberpunk or Need for Speed Heat or something on one monitor, and on the other monitor, he will be like, he's finished, he's got 99 now, but when he was still working on 99 Combat, he was grinding the crab, and every 5 or 10 minutes, he would click on the crab, and whenever the crab moved to a location, he would follow the crab to where it went. For like weeks and weeks on end, hours every day.
deeply know all about these tricks and still find them affecting me far more than I'm comfortable with. Imagine what it's doing to kids who are incredibly vulnerable to the constant bombardment of gambling, compulsion, addiction, loss aversion, and anxiety-inducing dark patterns that these games contain. So far in this video, I've tried to offer a relatively neutral take on the pros and cons of these game design patterns. While they're called dark patterns and have a high potential for abuse, I've explained that some of them are moderately harmless if used in a way that provides a lot of value for players.
Sure.
But if you're watching my channel, you probably want my actual opinion on all of this. I put a lot of thought into this area because I used to run a live service game, and I frequently had to make decisions related to what design patterns were used for meta systems, retention mechanics, and monetization. So here's my current take on this topic. First of all, I think that pretty much everything is fair game in terms of the actual design of the game itself.
Sure.
If a game is targeted at adults rather than children, I don't have a problem with people leaning on behavioral psychology research when designing the actual gameplay of the game and its reward systems within the game. Make your games fun. Make them compelling.
You know, showing how much experience you're generating per hour, for example.
Make people want to play them and want to return to them for their own merits. Your job as a game designer is to make a really fun game, and understanding how the human brain works is important for that.
Sure.
Players becoming invested in your game and deeply caring about their progression is a good thing. It's why people play games. But I draw the line at deploying dark patterns because they are related to retention systems, meta progression, and monetization. When I'm playing a game, I don't want to have a fear of missing out that makes me feel like I have to play frantically during time-limited events. I don't want to have to log into the game every single day to avoid breaking some stupid streak. I don't want to have to do some minimum amount of activity every day, otherwise I miss out on bonuses.
Give me 1 second. Let me... Oh, there's this fucking update. Okay. We won't... How long's the update? Okay. The update install. Let me just show you. Let me show you when the game decides it wants to finish updating. Let's go into Path of Exile. The game that he used to run. Okay, so this is Path of Exile. Let's go to a place called King's March.
Fair weather.
So, this is King's March. This has a system where... Do I have any gold on me? I do. So this is a system where you have these workers. You got your smelters here, you got your miners, you got your disenchanting, all this good stuff. You got boats over here, your farmers, mappers if you're rich. And each of these workers have a wage cost.
It's a cornucopia
of
talent.
Each of these have a wage cost for whatever role they're doing. And basically, when they run out of gold, the town shuts down. So this is like a background system that if there's not gold here, you are just wasting time. Basically, the game encourages you to always come back and make sure there is enough gold in here to make sure the town is going to continue running until the next time you play. Also, you have these boats here which come back every couple of hours, and you want to make sure you're always sending out boats. Yeah. I fucking hate this system was added.
I don't want to have to spam my friends to remind them to log in, otherwise I miss out on rewards. I hate all of this bullshit. When I was growing up, games were designed to be fun, not manipulative.
Bullshit.
They didn't have literal behavioral scientists and psychologists on staff trying to rewire my brain. Look,
Is this the mechanic you were looking for in the comments? Yes. Yes, that is Settlers of Kalgur. Or King's March.
I love the economic and competitive aspects of live service online games, but I just don't find myself enjoying most modern ones. Whenever I see daily tasks, seasonal events, and all
that's the fun thing about the town. This is a town which is not able to function without you. You didn't build the town, right? These are people that are like building their settlement, and they cannot function. They don't have an economy without you funding them. This is the worst town on the fucking planet. How do you not have an economy that functions without me giving you gold? Do you not have trade? Do you not sell anything? Why the fuck can you not function without me funding your entire venture?
Exclusivity FOMO, I just lose all hope that I'll actually enjoy playing the game because I know that it'll be playing me. If you're a developer and really want to add retention mechanisms without straying too deeply into dark patterns, what can you do? Well, first of all, you should try to make your game as fun as possible on its own merits, before relying on external meta mechanics to try to add engagement. Once you've done this, it's a matter of transparency, fairness, and respect for your players. Transparently communicate how things work and what players have to do in plain language. Avoid hidden gotchas that players are unaware of. For example, if you're using loot boxes, clearly communicate their drop rates. Try to ensure that optional challenges reward effort rather than attendance.
Random tangents, Bloom Tower Defense 6 is a daily login reward, but there is no streak to break. If you miss a day, it just continues. Oh, so there's just like, there's like a login reward. Every day you log in, you get the next reward. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Make sure that time-limited events last long enough for real-life schedules. Carefully consider whether reward should be exclusive or whether you should have the event return with the same rewards later, giving players a chance to get them if they miss out this time. It's worth thinking about the concept of time-agnostic gaming. Try not to care about when a player plays your game. Some people can't game every day, but have lots of time available on the weekends. It's unfair if the progress they make is slower than someone who manages to log in every day to claim some type of login reward. So that's been a tour through the dangerous world of dark patterns. As game developers, we have an obligation to think very carefully before we employ strategies like these. Push back and make sure that the reason you're adding something is because it's actually adding more fun, rather than because it'll artificially create more retention or
arbitrary fun mechanics.
As gamers, we also have
a mandatory fun mechanics is what I meant to say.
An obligation to push back. If you want more game in your games and less bullshit, make sure that you communicate this to developers. Your money and attention are precious. Yeah, spend them wisely. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much, and see you next time.
Thank you, Brodie. That was a great video. I love Chris Wilson. He does. He's been doing fantastic work for years. Let's see what else people are saying regarding Calgary. This is why he left. King's March would be fine if it was just one league. I agree. Like one league of King's March was fine. I hate that it's gone core. After this video, I unironically would not put that thought behind me. Settlers is brainless passive income. If you don't do it, you lose out a ton of divines. Divines are like the top currency. Or perhaps even mirror shards. You lose out on runes and tattoos, only again for settlers. Settlers made currency feel like it has less weight and added pressure into the game in the form of gold uptime. Yep. No, it isn't. Who are you replying to? This is why he left. I don't think adding gold to PoE was bad. I think gold is fine, because gold has made trading a lot easier. It's made, like, gambling for gear easier. Like, that's all fine. The issue is King's March. King's March is the entire problem.